Welcome to Intuitive Clarifications with Natasha. I'm here to support you in your life's journey, and I am so grateful to be here with you. And I'm going to state this right away because this is something that I want you to know is that your truth is your truth, and this is just a perspective on how to help you go through forward in your life. And I'm live on YouTube, Facebook, and also Twitter or X. Um, and I'm also on Instagram here, and welcome on Instagram. Thank you for being here already. I am going to talk about the nervous system and how the nervous system can affect us in many different ways. And many times we don't give, hi, Veronica. Thank you for being here. Many times we don't give our whole body a chance to say, oh, this is what I am. This is who I am. This is what I do. This is what I'm going for. And so with that we have a lot of things that when we're walking forward in our life and something happens in our life, that we have many parts of our body that engages. And I'm going to say that some of it's the vagus nerve, the nervous system, the subconscious, the mental mind, the higher self, the knowings that we have, the intuitiveness that we have, our guides that help us. We have a lot that comes in. But the thing that really engages first in our life is the nervous system. And the nervous system is an amazing thing that we go through. And that's the thing that we don't always look at. And what we go for is that we don't always understand that the nervous system reads the energy of the room before we even think about anything. And I've always known this. This is part of the dance of life. This is part of what's going on. And so when we're going forward in our life, that we don't always understand that. So I've been really doing a lot of work on how can we work with our nervous system. And the nervous system can get engaged by sounds. It can get engaged by smells. It can get engaged by what we understand in a room, like the negative energy of a room. It could also be triggered by a food. It could be triggered by a lot of different things. And it could be triggered by something that we don't even understand that's out there. I know that a lot of us who have been in life and negotiating life, that we don't really understand, because sometimes when something happens to us, let's say when we're younger, and there's a sound that happens and it caused fear. I know that a lot of people come from places where gunshot is very out there a lot, and so if you hear that snap, then that might trigger something in us. Or if we have the sound of, let's say, someone who has been not so nice to us, and then all of a sudden there's somebody that has that same sound, that can trigger us. Or there's a smell that comes in, like that smell of perfume that somebody that wasn't always so nice to us, wore, and it would trigger us. But what it can trigger us into is that fear and flight. It can trigger us into us wanting to say yes to something, but then there's something that says, oh, I'm not going to do that, because we get into that backward stance of life. And that's where I was talking with somebody in a book study that I've gotten together with a couple people, and I love to do book studies, and so I love to do those groups. But going into this, that when we're in the story of our life and going forward in our life, that there's these things that trigger us, and we can be in that fear and flight without even really knowing it. So going into this, that fear and flight that we have, or that understanding that we have, is not an always easy thing to be in. And that's where our adrenals get snapped into it. That's where our liver and gallbladder and thyroid and a lot of different things. Our stomach doesn't want to digest very well either. When we get into that story. So going into this, our nervous system has been very much pelted, boom, 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 with a lot of sensory things on the outside world since we were born. And that's the thing, is that many of us don't know why we are triggered something, because something could have happened when we were more infants or children, where we don't remember the world we were in. And so why is it that I cannot move forward in this story? Why can't I move forward into a new job? Why can't I move forward into this belief system? Why can't I move forward into this understanding? Why can't I move forward into wanting to eat better? Why can't I, go get more exercise? Why can't I? Why can't I? Well, many a times it's because our nervous system, doesn't want us to be manifesting, doesn't want us to be successful, doesn't want us to be, because of the fact that many a times that we've been in this story of, let's say, a family who was not necessarily very fluent in financials, and then we get this understanding that, well, I can't have that. I can't have that. And going into this, the when we get into that unable to manifest story, that it's amazing where we go. And where are we in our life if we aren't able to manifest? Because I understand that we kind of, this is my belief system, we do live in a matrix system. So how can we get out of our human factor, our human 3D world that we live in this human body, to move forward? And many a times it's because of something that is stopping us. So going into this, knowing that, we do. So there's a couple mantras that I have used that have helped me actually to be more prosperable in my life. Because me being dyslexic like I am, that has been part of my trigger for not being successful, because, I can't do that. I can't believe in that. I can't do that. I can't do, why should I believe in that? And that's been a lot of my story in this lifetime. And I'm going to say in other lifetimes, because I've been dyslexic in other lifetimes. So going into this, how can I get myself to be more successful? Well, a lot of times I say the mantra, I honor all my lifetimes, including this one, before this moment, and I'm going to be safe and successful beyond this point. So going into this, that, we're all in this. And so, like there's sometimes where I'm having a conversation with someone who I'm very close with, and when they start saying certain words, it triggers my nervous system to feel unsafe. Well, what I do is that I say another mantra, I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe, in spite of it. I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe, in spite of it. So like if you've been in a relationship, let's say with a girlfriend or a boyfriend or a husband or a wife or a coupleship, however that looks to you, and or even in relationships with siblings, that sometimes they say something and we're like, no, I can't trust you. Well, I know for me, I started saying, I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe, in spite of it. Whatever the it is, because I don't want to label the it. I don't want to label the it, because if I label the it, then I start labeling what I am perceiving the it is. And sometimes it's not even what the it that is triggering me isn't what I know about. It's something that my subconscious or my nervous system knows, but my mind doesn't. And that's the thing, is that we got to remember that our body represents 80% of our knowings in the world around us, and our mind is about 20%. because the fact that the mind is something that likes to think it's in control, but it's really not. The nervous system is actually in control because it reads the room. It reads the energy, it reads the smells, it reads the senses out there. What air we're breathing, what we're drinking, what we're knowing, what we're doing, what we're saying, what's being said to us, what. And so when we're going into this, it is about how can we be more supportive in our world by trusting that we're safe in spite of it. So I know a lot of us, or a lot of people, have been coming from places that aren't safe. But I can tell you that sometimes when we can feel like we're safe in spite of it, and I can tell you that sometimes I don't always feel safe. Like, me being a woman, there's been times where I've been in places where I was not safe. But now when I get triggered, because sometimes the nervous system doesn't even know what is a good signal or not good signal. We can be excited about something good happening, and the nervous system, because it feels the same to the nervous system, will trigger it as a negative thing. And so then it's deeming us not so good, not so strong, not so alive in our story. And so going into this, that, when we really can say, I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe in spite of it, that it can cover a lot of different things that we don't even know about. So if you are in the midst of wanting to be more successful in your life, if you're wanting to become more alive in your world that you're in, what I'm going to invite for you to do is to really look at how your nervous system is playing into this, because I can tell you that our nervous system gets triggered, and then the subconscious mind of ours can also get triggered at the same time, because our subconscious is something that reads the room too, and it likes to be a little bit more quiet about how it plays out. It's the subconscious is that one that whispers it to us when we're sleeping. The subconscious is the one that whispers to us in our dreams. The subconscious is the one that whispers to us in our quiet little conversations that we have with ourselves, and we don't even know it until oh God, is that what I'm saying to myself? Because that's the subconscious. The subconscious isn't really out there being bold and telling us a lot. No, it's actually just being a part of our story. And so our subconscious comes out in very magical ways. I actually like my subconscious. But the thing is, though, it doesn't always know what's best for me, because a lot of times it's reading off of a lot of things that come in our past. And I'm going to tell you, some of our subconscious mind comes from our DNA, from family generational things. It's our story that's in us. It's the story that's been us from generations. And so sometimes our subconscious is part of our ancestry that's not even ours. So why are we believing in something or listening to something unconsciously that doesn't even have an understanding of what we're trying to do in our lifetime? And that's where this is where our universe is really trying to bring us into now in the 2024 year, is to wake up to being more alive in our lives. And if we're alive in our lives, then we can become more aware of our subconscious and our nervous system interaction. Because I know a lot of us are wanting to feel successful in our lives. And success to me is not always about, um, um, you know, my success is more about the smaller things I do. I had a great conversation with my husband today. I had I got such and such done, and I maybe not get it done to my fullity, but I got it done. I came in and I did the dishes right away. Well, that was a success for me. So going into this, and I can feel so successful when I'm sitting down with someone in a session and helping them. I don't know if I did yeah, I can only read the room to see how it's going and what they say to me afterwards. So going into this, that we can be much better off if we really alive our nervous system to where we're at now. Because much of the time that our nervous system stays in fear and flight because something that happened back in our childhood. And if we're only aware of what is going on from our childhood, even though we are adults, then why is it reacting the same way that it got triggered when we were younger? And that's where that mantra comes in. I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe in spite of it. Because many a times there's something that I'm trying to do now in the age that I'm in now, but I'm being triggered from something in my childhood. So if I can tell all parts of me, my inner child, my younger self, my nervous system, my subconscious, my mental mind, my emotions, whoever is involved in this story, that I'm safe. It's amazing how much more we can be successful in our lives, whatever that looks like to you. So, how are we feeling about this conversation? Are you feeling kind of good about it? Does it make sense? Am I kind of hitting a note that maybe can help you with your journey in life? Please let me know, because when I'm doing these live shows, sometimes I don't get the comments, and it's like, I would really like to help you be successful in your life. Because everybody's success looks different. Everybody's life journey is different. Everybody's past life means like even this morning to me. So past life, the end of the day yesterday, or whatever it is, or lifetime before when we were kids, that, we're in this journey of becoming our more enlightened self. So how can we become more enlightened is by helping our body be more safe feeling. And that's the thing, is people forget, many people on their spiritual journey, they don't they forget that we're in this physical body, even though they look at it in the mirror. Our body is the last thing that people think about. Oh, but I'm getting wrinkles as I get older. Instead of saying, thank you, heart, for beating all those years. Thank you, digestive system, for being there since I was a little kid, right? Thank you, Veronica. Yes, great conversation. It's very helpful. I'm very grateful because, going into this, that we are in a moment where we can only be who we are. And many times our humanness keeps us from being more spiritually alive and awakened. You look at a lot of people who are on the spectrums, or on the who are narcissists, or this or that, whatever the label is. Gosh, there's so many labels out there now. There are many labels out there now. Instead of just saying he's just a grumpy fart. I remember the day when we would just call people grumpy farts, or just other things, and it's like, who are we? Who are we? And we got to come back to this, our core self. And, how is it that life is the way it is? So going into this, I was told to pick up some cards to get some different perspective here. That, we are all part of our story. We are all part of our upbringing, like it or not. And our nervous system is the one that read the room. It read the story. It read what we were and who we are and where we're going. And there is no right or wrong. It is what it is. So believing who you are, believing what you're doing, believing who you are is one thing. And mantras, that's where I go to mantras quite often, because even when I'm in a very discomforting conversation with someone who I care deeply about, or with a boss, or with a friend, or whoever that is, and I'm feeling very, very kind of off because I'm not feeling very safe. Well, I go into, instead of my story of in my brain going, you're not doing this very good, you can't do that very good, you're not doing this very well, why aren't you doing this, you should be saying that, you should be screaming and yelling, you should be throwing a fit, you should be. And then there's sometimes where those things aren't very helpful. And so that's where, instead of sometimes bolting out and saying something, what I'll do is I'll say first, I'll breathe. I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe in spite of it. I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe in spite of it. And so going into this, when we can say that we're safe going into this, and then I ask for another, this is my other mantra, I'm asking for divine healing on this. I'm asking for a healing on this from my divine, whatever you believe in. My divine could be a different perspective than your divine. I don't, it's not for me to say. But what I can say is that when we're going into who we are and what we're doing, and becoming who we are and what we're doing, that it is about making sure that we feel safe. And sometimes when we have not been in a safe place before, like my early years of the same marriage, or my marriage before, I did not feel safe all the time. And I do now, because I'm a woman that feels safer than I've ever felt before. And that is because life is about going forward, not staying in the past. And many of us stay in the past way too much. And then our nervous system keeps us in the past. And then our subconscious keeps us in the past. And then our inner child keeps us in the past. And then, oh my gosh, how can we move forward? There's been this metaphor that I've been using. And actually, it's helped me a lot. It's helped me a lot because of the fact that there's many times that we get into a part of our life, and we get into a part of our story, and it's not ready to move forward. Let's say, I'm going to use the example, if we've been in troublesome relationships before, and then we finally find that relationship that we can actually say thank you about. Well, there's part of us that isn't ready to have that. Well, I metaphorically put that part of me that's not quite ready to go into, not ready to go, I'll put it metaphorically into a wagon. And that wagon is weightless. It is so weightless. It's not like the real wagons where if you put in something that's heavy, it's going to be real heavy to pull. No, this is very weightless wagon. And I put that part of me that's very fearful, very scared to move forward. And I put that part of me that's very scared to move forward, and I put it in the wagon, and I start pulling it. I pull it to where we need to go. So let's say the first time that I was on the radio, and I'm on the radio the third Wednesday of the third Sunday of the month on KKNW, that there's a part of me that was fearful. But there's other parts of me that was saying, oh yeah, I'm ready for this. I'm ready for this journey. I know I can do it. I've got the skills. I've got the knowings. I've got the intuitiveness. I've got the call to do it. But there's part of me that said, can we do that? I don't know. No. I don't know if I can. I'm kind of fearful about it. Which by rights that there's part of me that should feel fearful about it, because that gives me a slower sense of, how should I do this? What should I do about this? Because that's one thing that fear gives us. It gives us a time to think about it. Should I do this in a better way? Should I not do this in a better way? How can I negotiate this differently than what I'm thinking I'm going to jump into? So being fearful is actually a good thing. Don't stand in fear, because if we do stand in fear, put fear in the wagon and pull it along the ride and say, I'm going forward in spite of you. in spite of you. I honor you for what you are, but I'm going to move forward in spite of you. So, how do we do this and where do we do this? Well, energetically, imaginarily, metaphorically. Uh, we can do it whatever way you can. Sometimes I just imagine the parts of me that doesn't want to move forward back here, and I pick them up, put them in the wagon, and I start walking forward and doing what I'm doing. I listen. I check in with my fear. Okay, yeah, I check in with my feelings about this. I do. I check into a lot of things because sometimes it's not about moving quickly. We don't need to jump into things. We can kind of go a little bit slower into things. But how can you negotiate your world? Sometimes we have to move forward in spite of it. Sometimes we want to. It's like, I need this new job coming in. I really want this new job, but I'm fearful. Because the nervous system is saying, well, the last couple jobs that you had, you weren't very successful. Your subconscious is telling you, yeah, you didn't do very good, did you? We can't be successful that way because, you've been told all your life that you've been stupid. So why should we believe that we can do this job? But what you can do is put all that say, I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe. I'm sure I can do this. I will not be perfect at it, but I'm sure I can do it. And then those other parts of you, put it in the wagon and say, we got to go for this new job. And I'm going to do my better. I may not be perfect the first day. I may not be perfect the second day. I may not be perfect the third day. And I may not be perfect the 100th day, but I'm sure going to be better every day that I do it. Because I'm going to learn as I go. Because even somebody that's been there for 50 years still is learning something about that job, right? It's a given. It's a given. So going forward and doing what you're doing, please trust and believe in yourself. Because, and I'm going to say this disclosure again, remember, your truth is your truth. I'm just giving you a perspective that can maybe help you. Because our nervous system reads the room first. We don't really realize it. That's why sometimes our stomach gets upset when we're ready to move into something that's kind of scary. Because it's reading, those lower chakras are reading the room, which is our nervous system that reads the room. Because our nervous system is more down through the body than it is up in the head. So our nervous system, our feet, our vagus nerve goes from the bottom of our feet to the top of our head. And so then there's many different facets of the nervous system that runs off. So if you touch something that doesn't quite feel as good as you want it to, well, that's your nervous system picking that up. That's your sensory. That is your knowings that's picking that up. So it's time to believe in you, because the fairy wants you to be creative. The fairy dragon wants, or the fire fairy wants to help you be successful. So creative action, optimism. So going into this, what can you do and be in yourself? So as she is a fire fairy, but is she standing up and roaring? No, she's not. She's sitting strong. She's knowing what she's doing. She's contemplating. Because sometimes the fire has to contemplate before it moves forward, right? So it is time to believe in you. It's time to step forward. It's time for you to honor who you are and do what you're doing. Because as you walk forward and as you're doing things, let the fire fairy help you. She says she wants to help you be a little bit more passionate about your world. But that means that we're going to have to do things in spite of part of ourselves that doesn't want to move forward, that doesn't want to be uncomfortable, that doesn't want to be insecure. And if we have these parts that do not want to be insecure, that sometimes we have to say, I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe. But that's if we are ones that are able to really check into what our answer is. Check in to see what if you do your research, if you do your notification, then why is it that our nervous system still says no? Well, that's something to check in a little bit more. Because sometimes it's saying no because it's been sabotaged before. But today is not the same sabotage that it was before. But the nervous system doesn't know that. So who are you and what are you doing with yourself? This is a time to really manifest. Every morning I wake up going, I'm asking for miracles and magic to happen in my life in unpredictable and amazing ways. I'm out of scarcity and into abundance. I am moving forward in my life. I say that through the day. I say that when I'm going to sleep. I say that in a lot of ways. And it's been amazing how, I don't feel like the waterfall has fallen on me, with me. But yet the stepping stones are coming up. There's ideas on how to negotiate. There's magic in my world. And it's piecing me together. It's piecing me together. So what do the cards want to say to us now? What does the universe want to say to us now? What is it that you want to say to us now? Okay, this one here. Communication. So communication is a very wonderful card because what have I talked about in this show so far? I've talked about communicating with yourself, your nervous system, your higher self, your subconscious, and communication, because communication helps us go down the path, no matter how bumpy or unsecure it is, because it's going off into no man's land, that we always can trust the process. And, that's one thing that we can tell our nervous system is that, if you look back, how well have you been taken care of? Maybe not as perfect as you are, but you're here today and you've survived. So how can you feel like you are negotiating your world to a better place? It's time for you to believe that you can and that you are worthy of having. And it's not because your family has told you no, that you're not worthy, or a sibling or a spouse or a partner or, whoever it is, a teacher or someone, a person on the road, a person in TV. Who's to say that they know your life and your journey? When you can believe in you, it's time for you to believe in you. I'm a miracle. I am a miracle. Because it's all about perception. It's all about perception. And when we change our perception, we change our life. Now, that doesn't mean that our nervous system is going to be switched over right now. Oh, no, it takes a little bit of practice to make sure it feels safe. And that's why I go and I change my perception about things. And I say, I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe in spite of it. That's why I say, we've got it, we've got it, we've got it. I've got it, I've got it, I've got it. I'm trusting, I'm trusting, I'm trusting. I'm surrendering, I'm surrendering. I'm in the moment of blessings. I am going forward in spite of you. I'm going forward in spite of you, whatever it is. And sometimes we have to read the room and trust that the universe, sometimes when there's a bunch of no's in our life or things that just don't keep coming forward, we have to stop and believe, maybe this isn't my life path at this minute. Because you never know what's going to happen. We never know what's going to happen. There's many times where I said yes to something, and then when I'm doing it, I'm wondering, why did I say yes to this? But then the experience actually taught me something. So going into this, what did the universe try to teach you with your world around you? That's only you to know that. Sometimes I can give people perspectives in their sessions about that, and I hopefully can be helpful about that. But when we're going into this and doing life, it's about believing in that we are different than who we were when we were younger. We're different and safer than who we were when we tried to do something for the first time. We're different and I'm able to be a little bit more enlightened for who we are. So it's time to believe in you. It's time to believe in your story. It's time to believe in the magic that you are. And I'm so hoping and praying that you can believe in you, because the magic is here for you and with you. But our nervous system needs to feel safe first. And that's the thing about helping our nervous system, is to read the room. And that's where a lot of people have anxiety too, is because their nervous system is reading the room and going, this doesn't feel safe because it hasn't been safe in the past. But I'm safe now. Nothing's happening right now. Oh, so I'm good. I'm good. I believe I'm good. Wow, I believe I'm good. Right? I believe I'm good now. Look at it. We're not in the same place we were back then. We're actually doing quite good. So going into that, give your nervous system a chance to see and witness your life as it is now, not the way it was before. Because anxiety is a good teller. Anxiety is a great teller for there's something in the room that I need to look at that's a little bit different. But a lot of us, especially our young children, are not able to read the room and say, I'm safe. So what are we going to do about this? Model that we are. Do better with what we're at. Go forward with where I'm at. Do what's better for us while we're at. So it's time to believe in that. So how do you negotiate your world when you are in the nervous system trigger? Well, sometimes that trigger of our nervous system tells us that, it's like, I'm not too sure about this. But what we can do, again, and I cannot say this enough, I'm safe in spite of it. I'm safe in spite of it. I'm safe in spite of it. Even when I have an allergy engagement with nut allergy, like airborne nut allergy, and I'm struggling to breathe, that's one thing I say is I'm safe in spite of it. Because the fact that I am safer than what I know I am. Because sometimes the things of our reality, our mind makes a bigger deal out of it than it really is happening. And then our body follows suit. So that's where the things kind of can flip around here. So our nervous system reads the room as 80%, and our mind is 20% of reading the room when something is happening. But then when our brain catches up and it starts overthinking, it can trigger our nervous system and our body into a scenario. So if we start engaging the mind in a way that is more healthy, I'm safe, then it doesn't keep going in that circle of back and forth in our story. So if our nervous system gets triggered into, let's say, that sound doesn't make me feel very safe, and then the subconscious goes, I remember that. That was not a fun thing. And then our mind says, oh, I remember now. Oh, yes. Oh my gosh. And the mind makes it bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. It keeps telling us stories and stories and stories. And then our body starts going, oh, yeah, I remember that now. And I know. And the body is really engaging, right? So what we can do is trick the mind in believing that the body is safe, because the mind is very powerful. So what can you do? I'm safe in spite of it. I trust in spite of it. I believe in spite of it. I'm magic. I'm bringing magic into my life. I'm bringing magic into my life. I'm bringing magic into my life. I'm bringing magic into my life, in spite of that anxiety attack. So going into this, one thing we can only do is really trust into the story of who we are. And it's time to believe who we are, because magic is in the air. And it's time for us to walk forward, and walking forward to me isn't necessarily into new jobs or into new friendships, it's about being able to get up in the morning and negotiate the day-to-day life in spite of it. So believe in who you are, believe in the magic that you are, and believe in what's going on, because it is time for us to believe. It is really time for us to believe. So, as the time has moved, ticked on here, and I'm so grateful for everyone who's come on and is showing up here, it is time for me to pull oracle cards. Oh, but somebody wants to come. Okay, so Mother Mary wants to come in. I'm going to channel Mother Mary. And when I channel, I don't always channel fully. I'm still here, but my voice might change. My energy will appear different. There's things that are happening. And then what I'm going to do after that is probably pull a couple oracle cards for people. But Mother Mary wants to give you a message. So you believe in what you believe in. If anything, even if you don't believe that I'm channeling, please listen to the message, because sometimes I'm just channeling a message a little cleaner than I am right now. It's all in perspective, right? So as I allow Mother Mary come in, as I ground myself with Mother Earth, I'm trusting this process. And as she comes in, give me just a second. No, you can always so Chan, I understand that you missed some of it, but you can yes, you can have an oracle card, but you can watch this again, and it's on video. So okay, so I'm going to step out of the way here and let Mother come in. Oh, dear ones, I love you so much. You are such a gift in who you are and what you're doing. It is time for you to believe in that you have a future that is very going to be brilliant, and in a sense of knowing that no matter what you are and what you're doing, that you can move forward. The world is going to be something that we are all embarking on, and helping you go through life a little bit more. So when we're trusting into those emotions of the body, and the body is still here in this 3D world, and it is part of this journey. And that's the thing about life and what we're doing, is because life is about evolving into a new story. So going into this new knowing of yourself and what you are doing, it is time to trust. When you get that call or that tap or that no understanding, that it's time to move forward. It is time to do the investigation first. It is time for you to really look outside of the world around you. It is time to really take inventory. Some people think that they can do that in their heads. Oh, no, no, no. It's time to write things down. This one is starting to write things down of lists to do, because her mind is so much in every place, and we are tapping on her to do so much. But it's time for really life to be. It's to be in the moment that you are. And that's how you really get a sense of what is happening in this world, is when you are in the moment that you are here. And as you go forward in the moment that you are here, that it is time for you to believe in that story of you. It's not the story of the past and where you've been. It's about the story of where you are right now. Because this is what's important, is today. The present, as it's called, the present of today. The present of what we are today. It's amazing how we get so caught up in the stories of our past, but that is not necessarily who we are today. That is the experiences and the lessons and the ideas and the inspirations and the cluster of, it's the collection of the story of everyone that was around you. So the story of your parents, the story of your knowing, the story of who you are, that is what is of your past. This is who you are today, the present day, so you can do your better choices for tomorrow. So it's time to believe and remember that that is why the nervous system and the DNA chain, that DNA chain that you have in your body, is collectively so much yours. It is your fingerprint of your life. But the DNA is made, that DNA strand is made by the collective of your ancestors, both in spirit and in real life. And it is time for you to believe that no matter where you're at and what you're doing, that collection can be healed in the moment. And this dear one, we gave her this mantra of I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe, in spite of it. And it is good to leave that open-ended, the it, because there is so much more than you, the human that you are, that you do not know or see. So believe in that you are it. You are the it. But there is more to the it than you ever will know, because you are now in that perspective of the 3D world and the spirit world. But you are not of this outer world yet. Once you get there, then you have the idea of what's to come. But until then, live the life you can today. Be in the present. Open up the gifts of today, this moment, so that you can see who you are meant to be. Trust the walk forward, but yet at the same time, research is very important at this day in life. This research is very important for this day and who you are. And it's time to really believe in who you are, because you are the one that has all the skills to help you walk forward. So the leap is not necessarily important. It's the steps to walk there. Sometimes we have to imagine ourselves to jump forward, but yet at the same time, it is a step by step, a step by step, a step moment. So believe in who you are and what you're doing, because you guys are magical. Magical, I call you. Magic. And it's time to believe in you. And as I leave you to this dear one again, it is time for you to honor your life journey in spite of the world around you. You are free from the stories, as I cut those cords for you now, the stories of your past, so you can move forward. Believe in you, my children, and know that you are safe. Namaste, dear ones. You are loved. Thank you for being here, and I hope that made sense. Uh, yeah, it's amazing when we are in the moment of where we're at and what we're doing, and I hope that Mother told you some stuff. I don't remember a lot of it, but I remember some of it, because I do stick around a little bit to hear it. But I want you to remember that we are magic. We are believing, and that's one thing that I know that she said, because she tells me that all the time, to tell everyone that they're magic, because we are who we are, and we are what we're doing, and we are what we are. And we are our story for knowing some skills to grow forward and do forward. But it doesn't mean that our story has to keep us back. So help your nervous system to be able to move forward. I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe in spite of it. I hope this was helpful. And now for some oracle cards. So Chandra, do you want a card? So put out there what you are. You don't have to text it or anything, but just energetically put out there what you would like. And if anybody else wants an oracle card from, yes, Veronica, I was thinking you would, on Instagram also, if you would like a card, please put out there that you would like a card. And all I'm asking for is that you set the intention with the energy, and then the universe knows. But this is for Chandra. Thank you. Okay, Chandra. Let the magic be for you. What is it that the universe wants you to know through a card or some cards? Probably, hopefully just no more than 2. Okay, so this one was sliding out. And then there's one more coming for you. It was pretty magical, the card reading that I did. Did you guys see the card reading I did for June? Whoop, that one there. That my cat actually picked 2 cards. That was kind of funny. Okay, so the first card that came out was Butterfly. So Chandra, you are in the midst of you are in the midst of time for transformation. You are, coming into your empowerment, and it's time for you to really understand that your anxiety has had control of the story, and it's time for you to believe that no matter where you're at and what you're doing, because make sure that you eat things that are better for you, because you don't want to stay too loyal to the wrong things, but you want to be loyal to the better things. And it's time for you to believe. And remember that, your happiness is very important. So do the joyful things, because those joyfulness things can be really helpful to your story. Joy is something that we can come into naturally. It is very much our right to be joyful. Happiness and joyfulness is not the same thing. It has some of the same feelings, but joy is something that you feel. Happiness is kind of fleeting sometimes. So joy is something that is, and it's our calling to have joy. So remember, you're in a transformational moment. You may be in the moment where you're the caterpillar gaining knowledge. You might be in the chrysalis where you're kind of like going, let me think about what I should do. And then the butterfly is about becoming the greater self of you. And to be careful of the loyalties that you're in. Don't stay too long before you need to move on. Or you're loyal and reconnect with the loyalties, because sometimes it's kind of like with my dog, like when she didn't come to me the other day, it's time for me to take her for a walk and sit, stay, heal, come, get the joy back into our relationship. Sometimes we have to reset ourselves in the relationships that we're in to find the loyalties that we're wanting to have. If that makes any sense. I hope that was helpful, Chandra. Okay, so Veronica is next since you asked. And then Sharon B wants one. I do spirit work and I am out of it for the last couple of weeks. I can't think of the words. I'm totally confused. Thank you. I will help you, Sharon. Or Shannon. Sorry about that. Dyslexic. Sometimes I don't always read what I'm meant to read here. Okay. As I align with Veronica's energy. Okay, Veronica, your card is coming up here, my dear. Well, that went my mic. Okay, set that up first. So that's about speaking truth, girl. Time for you to speak, because the mic fell, so I'm taking everything as a metaphor. So what is it that you're having a hard time speaking a truth, and knowing that a mic makes your voice more clear and poignant? So what aren't you saying that you want to make it a little bit more clear? So sometimes if you can't say it, then I would write it down and then burn it as an idea for you. Oh, those were upside down. Okay, there we go. That should help. Okay, Veronica, your card is coming up, and it is the top one. There you go. Okay, Wind Fairy. Thoughts, words, intellectual analysis. So as you're walking into your world, remember that the wind is a great carrier. It carries things away or it carries things to you. So let the wind element help bring your world to you, and know that you have been going into many life. So it's time for you to believe. So let the wind fairy take things, even in your body, away. So, you can ask that wind element to come in and go around an organ and then blow something away if it needs it. And that's something that yeah. Thank you, Wind Fairy. So going into this, it's about believing you. And as she has the wind blowing around her, what is she doing? She's standing tall in who she is. She's making sure that she's protected. But yet at the same time, though, she's staying that inner voice. So remember, as the wind blows around us, the day-to-day is happening, the day-to-day moments are happening, that it's time to really stand into your empowerment and know that as the wind blows around you, you can be grounded in who you are. The wind can't really blow us over until it's really strong wind, and then we got to see where the wind wants to take us. But we can stand strong in who we are. Hope that helps. Okay, so Shannon, here's a card for you. Okay, so Chandra, you said, love it. I've been seeing many butterflies lately. I have been working on that path. The loyalty card, I find it a bit more challenging and need to make sure I know. Oops. No, and then I think that if you are on YouTube, they only let you type so many words, and so you might want to. I know, and I'm guessing that's why. Is that question? So, yeah, loyalty card can be a little tricky with life, because are we loyalty to the wrong things inside of us, our nervous system, or are we too loyal to the things outside of us? A boss or a situation, because sometimes a boss that has treated us really good, but it's time for us to move on. We can appreciate that. Like, I had a girlfriend who ended up leaving a job that paid her through COVID and through her mother passing away, but then at the same time she had to move on, and it was time for her to move on, even though that job treated her well. And so sometimes, and now she's got the job that she's always wanted. And I haven't I haven't checked in with her because she just started the new job about 2-3 weeks ago. She wasn't feeling very good for a while, but there again, there's our nervous system sometimes is afraid to move forward in what we're doing. And is this the right time? Is this the job that I actually wanted and I'm actually getting it? Right? So Veronica, you said, I will be writing things down and stepping out of the wind, or stepping out into the wind. You're always so very helpful. You're so welcome. Okay, so this is for Shannon B. Sorry, I got distracted there, Shannon. Okay, so here I am here. Getting centered for myself. So I'm getting out of the wind here and centering myself. Okay, for Shannon. Okay. Woo! Okay, dear. Okay, you got one more card coming, dear. Okay, so, dear, be gentle with yourself. This is a female deer. It's not the stag. So the female deer is very conscious of the world around her. And as I'm saying that, I got the message, like, we've had deer in our yard, and the mother deer went between and ran around the yard, keeping the dog away from her baby so the baby can jump over the fence. So going into this, it's okay to protect the things that you want, the things that you need to do, but at the same time, though, be careful about that it's maybe time for you to jump over the fence into something new greenery, new understanding. But deer walks through the forest and is very much in alignment with the world around it. Sometimes in the rain, it has to sit down and be quiet, but most of the time that it is walking around and being secure. So be gentle with yourself. You may be discombobulated. You may be in a new beginning. You may be getting some understandings that aren't ready to walk forward yet. And that's might be why you're discombobulated. I know I have been discombobulated myself in many ways, but at the same time, I understand that I have new opportunities coming, and it's me getting my footing and my grounding for this new opportunity to come. So it is time for you to believe in you. It is time for you to negotiate your world, and it's time for you to trust it. But remembering what you eat is what is going to be your strength. So make sure you don't go back to old patterns when you are in these moments of life. And where is the next card for you, my dear? And I'm getting the feeling that it is right here, Shannon. Oh, about perception. There's that perception card again. So Perspective. Perception is a big one. So what are you telling yourself? I do spirit work and I am out of it for the last couple weeks. Yeah, because the energies have been very strong. We've had a lot of planets aligning. We've had some solar flares. We've had a lot of things, but there's one mantra that I use in my spiritual walk is that I'm aligning to the energies of the now. As I align to the energies of the now, Mother Earth, Father Sky, please balance me in between the energies that I am so I can be my better self and who I'm meant to be. I am in aligning to those energies so I can be my better self and higher self. So going into this, how do you be you? But it's about being gentle with yourself. Us spiritual people can be very hard on ourselves, even though we're going through the 3D world too. And we do go through the 3D world because it's all about perception. Because even on my bad moments, I still say I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe in spite of it. I hope this show was helpful. I really pray that things were helping for you. And I really want you to know that you are magic. But it's really time for us. It is really time. Yes. Okay, this is 2 cards for everybody else. Couldn't say this better. So this is a card for everybody. So letting go of a lot of our story and love yourself in the end. So Chandra, my previous message was premature. Send. Thanks. Yes. Wasn't sure the meaning of the loyalty card. Learning to stop investing energy in my old ways that no longer serve me and ways of aligning of what I want. And yes, I had a feeling I had to do that with the work as well. Yes. So, but loyalty is a tricky place. It's like boundaries, and loyalty. Sometimes we can be loyal to somebody, but how loyal? How loyal? Are we loyal where we're holding on real tight? Or are we loyal and holding our hands? Are we, loyal to a story that we've created for ourselves that I can only do this, this, and this, and this? Or are we able to say, I'm going to shift up my language around things? So check in with the loyalty about who and what you are loyal to and how much. I think the how much is another story because it's not bad to be loyal. I'm loyal to many things, but I have to discern out how much for my own health and the health of others. I hope this helps you guys. And please remember, I'm live Wednesdays at 4 o'clock Pacific time. I love to support people in private sessions. And you can go to my website, intuitiveclarifications.com. I am also here on social media, posting regularly, really quick videos on little ways to negotiate your world. And I hope that everything is helpful. I'm live Wednesdays at 4 o'clock Pacific time. Every Wednesday, I have a couple people coming up here in June, Regan Forston, and then I also have Jody, who I'm going to be on her on a conference that she's on. So more to come. Blessings be on your journey. And remember, you are a miracle. So what mantra do you say when you first wake up and when you go to bed? And anywhere in between? What are your mantras? It's time to believe in you. Blessed be to you.